Tulsa King is Sylvester Stallone's first leading role in a television series. Find out how he tries to become a mafia boss after 25 years in jail. Ritchie Coster joined the cast of the Taylor Sheridan television series in episode 3. Black Mcadam, a motorcycle gang, is led by Ritchie Coster's character Caolan. Even if Manfredi's team prevails in their encounter, Caolan doesn't give up without a fight. Watch this video for full details. First up, Caolan is leader of the motorcycle gang Black Mcadam. Caolan, the head of the 1%er motorcycle gang known as Black Mcadam, was first introduced in Tulsa King episode 3. The ATF and Mr. Dumont, who has holed himself inside his house, are engaged in a standoff. When Caolan appears, he yells that they left him with no option, Dumont. Dumont destroys the house by detonating a bomb inside after letting his dogs out. The man who strangely showed up during the standoff is revealed to the ATF in further detail. According to a featurette narrated by Terrence Winter, Caolan is the leader of Black Mcadam. Terrence said he and his gang dealt in guns, ammunition, and explosives, and they ran into Dwight's crew throughout the season, bumping into them and butting heads. Next up, what did Ritchie Coster say about Caolan? Dwight instructs Bodie and Tyson to create a business selling nitrous oxide in episode 4. They encounter a few Black Mcadam members but maintain their position. When Caolan learns that his men allowed Dwight's team to sell goods on their property without consequence, he expresses his displeasure at the biker gang meeting. Roxy, Caolan's right-hand lady, is even more frank. Roxy is close friends with Caolan and is an expert in ammunition who served in Afghanistan. He gives the impression that he values her views. Caolan has the rest of his crew beat his soldiers into submission after emphasizing how badly they screwed up. Ritchie Coster stated in a featurette that Black Mcadam has a very straightforward social structure, and Caolan is in command. He added that they would go to any length for him, almost resembling a cult leader. When Tyson and Bodie refuse to give over their money and nitrous oxide, Caolan orders his men to beat them up. Coster continued, "Along comes Dwight, ignorantly simply trying to toy with that monopoly, and I don't take well to that. Fans haven't seen the last of Black Mcadam. Black Mcadam attacks Tyson and Bodie, so Dwight gathers a team to recover their nitrous oxide. They battle the motorcycle gang with baseball bats and come out triumphant." Sylvester Stallone remarked that looking back on 104 and the confrontation with the biker gang, it was hard work. Even though Dwight's team recovered the nitrous oxide, they might not have realized how lethal Caolan and Black Mcadam could be. Fans have undoubtedly not seen the last of Tulsa King. Up next, Sylvester Stallone's Tulsa King breaks the mold for mafia bosses. In Tulsa King, Sylvester Stallone plays the lead character for the first time in a television series, which centers on a Mafia Capo who has just been released from jail after spending 25 years in captivity. A man who has been gone from the world for such a long time will undoubtedly have trouble adjusting to the changes. However, Tulsa King, which stars Stallone as the character who must adapt to the changes, does an outstanding job of capturing this attitude. The issue is that changing a Mafia Capo who is a product of his own era cannot be accomplished in the flash of an eye. Tulsa King takes a new approach from the numerous Mafia movies, which series viewers are accustomed to, by depicting Stallone's Dwight, the General Manfredi, as a Mafia Capo on his path to becoming a Mafia boss after serving 25 years in prison for a murder he didn't commit. There have been countless depictions of a man rising through the ranks to achieve Mafia greatness, but that is not the plot of Tulsa King. The novel's protagonist is a mafioso who is aware of what needs to be done to establish a powerful criminal empire, but is unfamiliar with the specifics of how to do it because of the unfamiliar environment. Since Tulsa King has already been given a second season renewal, it is without a doubt the entertaining encounters of its dangerous lead character that makes it a great watch. In addition, it is undeniable that Dwight, the General Manfredi, allows some of Sylvester Stallone's star power and charm to shine through. The finest thing about Tulsa King's retelling of the rising mafia lord is how it depicts itself as completely out of control. Recently released on Paramount Plus, Taylor Sheridan's latest work is busting stereotypes about mafia bosses while also breaking several television records. Up next, Manfredi is different from mafia protagonists. Manfredi is not the average guy from the street striving to climb the ladder to the inner sanctum of the criminal underground. Unlike the majority of mafia fiction heroes, Manfredi is a 75-year-old veteran mafioso who has become more resilient as a result of his mafia life and his time spent in prison. Manfredi anticipates receiving a royal welcome upon his return after spending a third of his life in prison in order to save his boss. The son of Manfredi's boss, Don Charles Chicky Invernizzi, played by Dominic Labradozzi, immediately reveals that his reward for enjoying a silver jubilee in jail is a trip to Tulsa, where he must establish a new base for the family, leaving Manfredi disappointed. Manfredi, who is aware of the wealth that can be made in New York, understands that the offer is, at best, a banishment from the area where the action and wealth are concentrated. Tulsa King's first few episodes show Manfredi battling the era's modified regulations. Coming out after such such a long time seems almost like a rebirth to a man who hasn't been in touch with the outside world. As Manfredi learns about the power of credit cards and the internet, he embarks on a path of exploration that involves everything from opening a bank account to comprehending how Uber operates. The happiest moments in Tulsa King are when he is trying to get used to things. Manfredi is wise enough to make use of the resources at his disposal, even though he still adheres to old-fashioned ideas like currency is king. After all, you need to be street savvy to survive with a criminal history that dates back to the days when the Beatles gained notoriety. Manfredi maintains some helpful ideas from the past while also adapting to the current. He struggles in some circumstances but succeeds in others. Up next, Tulsa provides the opportunity that New York does not. Manfredi finds himself moving to Tulsa, a place that contrasts everything that New York represents, which only adds to the disorientation caused by the generational divide. The show has already distinguished itself by choosing Tulsa over the city whose environment served as the backdrop for all illustrious mafia stories, from The Godfather to Goodfellas, and which is also alluded to by Manfredi's right-hand man Tyson, played by Jay Will in Episode 3. Manfredi must not only adjust to the changes in the times, but also fit into local customs. He needs to figure out the unspoken rules of the period before he can start to establish his empire. The nicest part is that Manfredi always behaves like the town's big shot, even when he doesn't know what he's doing. In a place like Tulsa, confidence is a virtue. Manfredi gets things going purely on the strength of his confidence and a little jaw-cracking violence, from receiving a free ride from the neighborhood car dealer to becoming the unofficial owner of a nearby dispensary that sells marijuana. Tulsa turns out to be a blessing in disguise for Manfredi, a Mafia Capo in his 70s, allowing him to restart his life with perhaps little resistance and at his own leisurely pace. Manfredi's haughty behavior also provides for amusing interactions in a city that doesn't seem accustomed to the Mafia's mode of operation. Using a water bottle, he takes possession of a lucrative dispensary, demonstrating both Manfredi's criminal prowess and the lack of caution displayed by the town in its day-to-day operations. Finally, Sylvester Stallone allows Manfredi to flourish. Tulsa King strays from the norm of mafia stories featuring weapons blazing and macho guy antics. This show is aware that its audience is one that is likely to draw to it because of the actor who plays the lead role's legacy. While it would be amusing to watch the action star get hurt, Tulsa King begins by establishing Stallone's Manfredi as the unquestioned ruler of the region, a man who is simultaneously sociable, sensitive, and menacing. Tulsa King has a lot of fan service, but it also has some good fan service since it matches the tone of the plot well and stays true to what can be achieved through a mafia story with an actor whose name precedes him. The burden of establishing the aura around the protagonist doesn't depend on the story in this instance. Unlike other mafia films and television shows, the charisma and personable appeal of the lead actor perfectly manages that duty, because audiences will always pay attention to the man in the front who drives the interest, not to mention the fantastic ensemble and characters that surround Stallone and Manfredi respectively, even if they may find the events in the story to be lighthearted. Tulsa King succeeds by deciding to deviate from the formula at a time when several mafia stories seem to be bringing a meal created from varying quantities of the same ingredients. Instead, utilizing its assets has laid the groundwork for a strong start. Tulsa King is aware of its goals, yet it's uncertain if it will be able to maintain its current highs. As a result, the criminal drama starring Sylvester Stallone doesn't feel constrained by what has come before. Similar to Dwight Manfredi, Tulsa King devotes itself to portraying a mafia leader of the modern day, while remaining conscious of the past and not being afraid to learn a thing or two from the present. Fortunately, while doing so, it discovers a protagonist who does not conform to the stereotype of a mafia leader. With Sylvester Stallone leading his first ever role in a television series, movie lovers should expect nothing short of excitement from the series. Let us know what you think in the comments section. Do not forget to like and subscribe to this channel. We'll see you in the next video.